September 11th, 2001 is a day Americans will never forget. Saturday marks the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attacks that claimed the lives of 2,977 people at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. As the news of the attack spread across the U.S. and the world, so did concern about additional targets and the fear of the unknown. Included in that category was Walt Disney World, given its status as a highly populated and highly popular tourist attraction. In the years since, Huffington Post has talked to cast members who were working in the theme park on September 11th. One cast member told the outlet they remember watching the news in the break room when an ABC reporter announced the Walt Disney Company would be closing its parks. Next, the sound of the manager's beepers went off. About 10 minutes later, the cast members had their marching orders according to the recollection of the employee. Quote, "We were strictly forbidden from telling them the real reason that we had decided to close the park, which caused some confusion and maybe even some irate guests at times, but it avoided quite effectively the cause for panic from our guests," the cast member told Huffington Post. To clear guests out of all four theme parks, a cast member said they shut down attractions, restaurants, and shops to force everyone into the street before making a human chain to guide them to the exit. The message to guests at that time reportedly went like this, quote, "Due to circumstances beyond our control, the Magic Kingdom is now closed. Please follow the direction of the nearest cast member," close quote. Following the terrorist attacks, Disney, just like many other companies, upped its security to the stringent protocols parkgoers see today. Guests visiting the Walt Disney World Resort are subject to bag screenings and metal detectors before entering any of the four theme parks. Plus, at any given time, you can see Disney's comprehensive approach to security that includes measures that are visible and others that are not. You can see them in action as uniformed police officers, hazard detection canines, and security cameras help keep guests safe. It's the new reality that many of us would come to know over the last 20 years. But on that tragic Tuesday morning, not everybody made it to a Disney theme park. Christine Lee Hansen, a toddler who loved Mickey Mouse and making her family smile, was less than an hour into her first airplane ride, sitting with her mom and dad, when her father placed a call to his parents. "Dad," Peter Hansen said over the phone, I think we're being hijacked." It was September 11th, 2001, and Peter, his wife Sue Kim, and Christine, age 2.5, were going to California, where they planned to see relatives and go to Disneyland. The family was aboard United Airlines Flight 175, the second plane to be hijacked. They were among the nearly 3,000 victims who died in the terrorist attacks. Christine was the youngest victim, one of 8 children killed that day. On Wednesday, several days before the 20th anniversary of the attacks, Christine's grandmother, Eunice, remembered her as a really special little girl. Quote, "She bubbled. She was so kind," Eunice told NBC News, recalling a time when she was recovering from foot surgery, and Christine brought her a Band-Aid, thinking it would help. Quote, "If she did get into mischief, she found a way to make everyone laugh," close quote. The last time Eunice had spoken to Christine was 2 nights earlier when she called to wish the family a good trip. Initially, the three were scheduled to fly out on September 10th. But they moved their flight at the last minute because Peter, a vice president of sales for a software company, had a work conflict. It's something that still haunts Eunice. Quote, "That killed me," she said. "For over a year, I couldn't even talk about it." Christine was born on February 22nd, 1999, and lived with her parents in Groton, Massachusetts. She loved to help her father when he gardened, watering plants and trees and telling them that she was feeding them, Eunice said. Christine was given her middle name after her grandfather, Eunice's husband, Lee Hansen. She and Lee had a bond from the start, Eunice said. She just clung to him whenever we went to visit, she said. Eunice and Lee were close with their granddaughter, occasionally staying with her overnight when her parents were away. The next time they were going to see Christine was going to be shortly after her Disney vacation, at a friend's wedding. Eunice couldn't wait for Christine to show off her signature dance move, with her feet tapping and her body wiggling. Christine called it her happy dance. Peter's call on the morning of September 11th came while Lee and Eunice were eating breakfast in their home in Easton, Connecticut. After receiving Peter's call, Lee called the authorities, who informed him that a different plane had hit the World Trade Center in New York City. Lee and Eunice turned on the television and saw the burning tower. As the couple tried to process what they were seeing, Peter called again. This time, he told Lee that his plane was going to crash. "Don't worry," he told his father, later followed by, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" Then the line went dead. Quote, "We had the television on at the time, and we saw the plane crash into the second tower," Eunice said. Lee hung up the phone, and he was never the same. Lee did not live to see the September 11th defendants go to trial. He died in November 2018. At 86 years old, Eunice is unsure whether she will either, especially given the numerous delays in the case. If she could, Eunice said, she would ask the defendants a simple question, saying, quote, "After I got finished swearing at them, I would ask them, how could you possibly have looked into my little granddaughter's eyes and want to kill her?" she said. "How could you have so much hate?" Today, Christine would have been 22. But Eunice still sees her as the energetic girl who carried a Peter Rabbit stuffed animal with her everywhere. A beloved possession that her grandparents donated to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. For 20 years, Eunice has thought of her on missed milestones. What would have been Christine's first day of kindergarten, when she would have graduated high school, when she would have gotten her first job out of college. Eunice wonders if Christine would have followed in her mother's footsteps and pursued microbiology or sales like her father, or something else entirely. Quote, "You go through all these wonders," she said, "and then I get angry with those people that did this awful murder." Christine was the second of the Hansens' three grandchildren, sandwiched in age between two children of Eunice and Lee's daughter. Having her daughter and other grandchildren has helped her get through the hardest moments, Eunice said, but has also served as a constant reminder of the pieces of their family that are missing. Her grief has not lessened over the last 2 decades. "I just got used to it," Eunice said. "I've become used to living with it. When she thinks of Christine, Eunice said, she remembers how she always brought everyone joy. She said she had no doubt that she would still be doing the same thing today had her life not been cut short. Quote, she was just a special little child, she said. September 11th, 2001, reshaped the way we felt about our world. Here in the United States, many of us who were around at that time have the scenes and the experience seared in our memory. Many of us are convinced that a sort of innocence was lost at that time, that we've never quite recovered. As Disney Parks fans, it's important to remember that we visit these places because they help bring us joy. They're places where we can escape this harsh reality. Places where we can go get captivated for a while and remember all that's good, all that's positive. Sadly, on September 11, 2001, these kingdoms were affected in a way that many people never thought they could be. It was a day where the outside world impacted our magical bubble and reminded all of us just how fragile and delicate life can be, and how terrible hate is. How did 9/11 impact you? How has September 11th impacted your life in the last 20 years? Feel free to leave your memories in the comments section below, as together we reflect on 2 decades since that truly tragic experience. And we remember people like Christine. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath.